So everyone's been asking how well the tank has been doing, since I haven't taken a video of it in quite a long time. I think now would be the time to show you how well it's doing. Things have been going pretty well. I still have a lot of the same animals in here that I had in the past. Down there is the big guy, my Harlequin tuskfish, which is now about 6.5 inches long. He's probably the biggest change in terms of how much he's grown. I still have my pair of black Ocellaris clowns, Bangai cardinalfish, pajama cardinalfish. I still have my wrasses, yellow chorus, 6-line, Christmas wrasse. I still have my little blue damsel. I still have the coal tang. And I've made a few changes. I got the powder blue I traded. I had a Heniacus butterfly, if you remember. And I traded him and a yellow tang because the Heniacus started eating my corals. So I traded them for the blue tang. I still have my flame angel. And if you look really close, I don't know how well you can see him. I still have my starfish. I still have a lot of the corals I had. And they've been doing pretty good under these lights. Still have my Vlamini tang. The GSP started with a 4x4 patch that I got from somebody who was getting rid of it, and I cut it up in little pieces, glued it to the overflow, and now it's covering about 2/3 of the overflow. Everything in the tank's doing pretty well. I don't have as many SPS as I did, and the reason for that was twofold. One, I shocked them with these Kessel lights, which are very, very strong. And two, my nitrates were too high. I got my nitrates under control by adding some more rock. If you look, especially on the right side, you can see the rock now goes almost up the whole entire side of the tank. And you'll notice now my sand bed extends probably about 2.5 to 3 inches deep. It used to be only about 1/2 inch deep. It didn't even reach up to the frame of the tank. But doing that enabled me to get rid of those nitrates. Miami Hurricane, which is interesting. I don't know how well this is going to show up on film, but the eyes come out, they start yellow, they go green, and they ultimately turn orange with a purple center under these lights. That's the color they stay. Like I said, here's the lights. When I first set the tank up, I started with the lights at 50% each on the white and blue frequencies, and it was just too much. It just bleached the crap out of a lot of my SPS. So right now, I do actually have them at about 40% white and about 90% blue. But it was kind of a little bit of a slow process. I had to acclimate things for a little while. As far as being able to grow corals, I think they're fine. You can see my clams here. There's my Durasa that actually came out of, well, really actually came out of my 225, and then it went to the 93, and then it went to this tank. So that's got to be about 3 or 4 years old now, and it's doing fine, and it's colored up, perfectly well. And then this is a blue Maxima that I just picked up a little while ago. They had a sale over at Bird World, and I picked that up. Scalimia that I got from somebody on the board. Pipe organ. Globophilia. This one here is the one that I got from the club auction. It's really pretty orange and green. I have some torch corals, and above them some hammers. Like I said, there's the octospawn. scroll coral. Gorgonians are really doing well with all this water motion, especially the wave motion. As you can see, they're really polyped out. And then I have a yellow gorg over here. There is my famous blue sponge. It's actually growing under these lights. And if you look closely, there's another piece there. And I have a little tiny piece up in the corner of the tank. There's some more hammers. The zoanthids are all doing well. I got them kind of all over the place. Some there. Some more there. They came with the tank. There's my Tyree toadstool. Some pink hammer above that. A blood chalice above that, which is actually relatively high in the tank. I was able to acclimate that pretty well. And there's even some zoanthids way up near the top. Some pink gorgonian. The one coral that I've had that hasn't done super great under these lights is candy canes. There's some blue ones over there that are doing pretty good, and some colonies of neons there that aren't doing quite as well. I just think they need even less light. My last of the anemones, this is that famous, a clone of that famous one I had in my 93 that split, I think 13 or 14 times. I kept one. Actually found it in the overflow of my 90 when I was taking it down, and it was about the size of a nickel and all faded because it hadn't gotten any food or light. And I put it back in here and it's gotten pretty good, healthy size. There's some green hammer below that and a real nice colony of pink tip hammer below that. You can see there's some more gorgonians. On my Gonoporia, I only have 3 of the 5 left. The green is doing real well. The red is doing well, though it's turned a little pink. And this is that strawberry shortcake one that I had gotten a while back. I lost the blue and the purple. They just basically kept fading away. I have some blue zoanthids up there. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way the tank's going. Down below I've made some changes. I had a cone skimmer, and I really wasn't 100% happy with what it was pulling out. I think it was just because I have such a high bio load. These big fish. So I went totally old school. I'm running a big old, and by really mean big, ASM G4. It's 8 or 9 inches across, a monster. A little bit hard to see. Let me see if I get a better shot. Still kind of hard to see, but it's running a Sicce pump. And I actually had opened up the skimmer and kind of put a couple of diffuser plates in there so that the bubbles weren't all coming out of one pipe because it was just too turbulent. So I just got some PVC, those X-shaped PVCs, so that I got bubbles coming out of 4 different holes instead of 1. But as you can see, it really picks up the gunk out of the tank. It is quite large. My sump is a 20-gallon sump, and it just barely fits in that compartment. As a matter of fact, I actually had to put it together inside of there. I could not get it in with the cup on. I could not get it in with the motor attached. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but there's actually a small, one of those live bearer nets full of Chaetomorpha algae. DC pump. And it's a little bit difficult to see it. It is so quiet. In fact, you might hear some noise, and the noise that you're basically hearing is the water going through the siphon and the Sicce pump on the skimmer. The only reason that's noisy is because it's so tight in there, it's actually hitting the glass. And then I still have my BRS dual GFO and carbon reactor. I'm running off the pump there. Up top here, I neaten things up a little. I got my Reef Keeper light going. It's kind of neatened up, and over here, there's my power supplies for the Kessels, along with the power supply for the Jabao pump. Kind of hard to see, but it's running at about 90%. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are going so far, and like I said, I'm very happy with the Jabao pumps. The pump that I have on the tank itself, the DC pump is a DC 6000, and it's running at about 90%, which means it's putting out, after the head pressure, it's putting out about 600-700 gallons an hour. which is about 9 times turnover when you look at the total gallons there. And very, very quiet, very reliable so far. I'm very, very happy with it. Like I said, I have the Kessel lights. I've been reluctant. People have been asking me, for my opinion, how do you like these lights? I've been reluctant to say because I was having problems with SPS, but I think that those days are over. And I think I've kind of gotten over the hump with the nitrate issue. Like I said, it was all my own fault. I didn't start off with quite enough live rock when I started adding all those fish. And, the requisite bioload and things like that. Plus, my sand bed was just too shallow. I thought it would look nicer, aesthetically, if it was so shallow that you couldn't see it above the frame, but it just wasn't enough to do the job. So I added some more sand, added some more rock. My nitrates are now under control. Now I can actually see whether or not the lights work in terms of, are the LEDs good enough on their own, and they seem to be doing fine. And let's go take another look at that. As I said, I've had some test frags here. I have some green slimer. There's a rose millie in there. There are a couple other different assorted acros, and then I just have some chalice and some acans that I just picked up because I like the colors. I'm actually gonna have to take those acans and probably drop them down lower. They're actually kind of smallish, probably from having too much light. But other than that, all the frags are doing well. I'm not really worried anymore as far as if SPS is going to bleach out under these lights. These things have been in here now, some of them for a couple of months, and like I said, I'm really quite happy with these Kessel lights. I'm sure my power bill has gone down. I really haven't noticed a tremendous difference, but that's because it's only a 90 gallon tank. It's not a 300 or 400 gallon tank, but definitely less heat from the Kessels compared to the halides, and definitely very quiet pumps. I'm very happy with everything. Like I said, in my case, you do hear some noise. Let me see if I can get a picture of it. You see my overflow there. You can see the water going past, and you kind of can see there's a little bit of a drop from 2 Dursos, and that's where you hear the noise, the water kind of sloshing up against that. Let me see if I can get a better picture of the wave action. And this is actually set, this is the 40. There you go, that's a pretty good shot. This is the MP40, WP40, I guess, sorry about that. The Jabao pump, it's a single pump. It's running on speed W2, which is, I believe, 75% of max. And so even at 75% of max, that's plenty. My entire water surface is moving. I don't have any dead spots at all. I don't get any slicks of detritus or anything like that, or oils. I have a nice even flow into the overflow itself, as you can see. And again, if you look down into the tank, even on the far end, I have tons of water moving. There's no problem with any of that. Tons of water moving. I have to say, for one pump, very happy. I don't feel like it's obtrusive or too large. It's bigger than a Coralia, yeah, but you can see it down there. It's not that big, and it's very quiet. And like I said, I only have to run one little cord a couple inches into the tank. There's some of my fish. There's the tangs. And the little mingy, who was very dark 5 minutes ago, is now all lightened up because he's out there. You can see how fat he is. He's out there looking for a meal. Same thing with the tusk fish. The tusk fish, I'm really enjoying him. He's one of my favorite all-time fish. First time I've had a tusk fish in a reef tank. He's been fine with corals. He's been fine with inverts, with the exception of crabs. Pretty much have no more crabs left. He's gotten rid of all those, hermits and whatnot. He is a little bit aggressive now at this size, so I have to be honest and say that if he continues to grow and if he gets any more aggressive, I may have to get rid of him. But I really do enjoy him. He's got a good personality. Like I said, he's totally harmless to corals, so that was my main concern. I had read a few things that said he was reef safe with caution, and I would give him a total thumbs up on as far as being reef safe. Like you can see, there's plenty of Euphilia and LPS in there. He hasn't touched anything. He hasn't touched the clams. So on all that, I'm pretty happy. There you pretty much have it. I'd say things are going pretty well, and like I said, I'm pretty happy overall. Thanks for watching.